So almost 6 years ago, I was sitting at my day job in a finance department at a corporation, and I was feeling stuck. I thought that this was it for me. Doing the financial reporting and the same repetitive financial task day in and day out, I thought that this was going to be it. There was no professional development or career growth in sight for me. And that was the time when I had decided that I needed to do something about it because I cannot go on like this forever. And yes, I've always been a believer in self-development and investing in oneself. So I started researching online and asking people around me who had somehow made it into the top league of finance that what should be next for me. I had already done a bachelor's degree and most of the people were telling me,
Bachelor's degree? What is that nowadays? Bachelor's degree means nothing. You need to at least have a professional qualification. Professional qualification is all that is about these days if you want to survive and grow in finance. If you don't have a professional qualification, don't even bother. You might as well switch your field to sales or supply chain or something else.
And yes, that was a consistent answer that I was finding across the entire field of finance. Thus began the search for the next big qualification that would skyrocket my career. And after spending countless hours online, I found out that there are so many qualifications in finance that a person can do, and you still won't know which one might be the best one for you. You have all of these qualifications that start with the C, like a CFA or a CPA or a CIMA, and yeah, so those are the three. And then you have ACCA, or you have an ICAW, or you just have a simple CA. And this is all without counting being a in the corporate world, because yes, a person can easily be that without even having a professional qualification. So how did I decide upon which qualification will be the best one for me? These are the three things that I focused on while deciding upon which professional qualification will be the best one for me. Number one is the timing and the financial commitment. Being a professional who is working full-time, committing to a professional qualification can be quite challenging. Depending upon which qualification you would go for, the number of exams will make the biggest difference, as well as you have to consider the fact that you might not pass all the exams in the first try. If you were to take my example, I did not pass most of my CPA exams in the first go, and I had to sit for it again and again. Which brings me to the financial constraint. The CPA exams or any other professional qualification is not cheap by any means. And taking into consideration where you might have to sit your exams as well as the course material that you will be going for, the financial impact could be very huge, especially if you are still in the early stages of your career. So you need to plan those two things out very wisely if you want to succeed and get the professional qualification. The second thing that became my main focus was the eligibility to sit for these exams. As most of you might be aware, the US CPA exam has a very high eligibility criteria, meaning requirement of having a 4-year bachelor's degree and with a minimum number of years depending, and a minimum number of credit hours depending upon which state you might be applying for. Whereas an ACCA has a very low eligibility requirement. As long as you have a high school or an A-level certificate, you can start doing those exams. So depending upon what your situation is like, that is what you have to consider. I know a lot of candidates, and when I say a lot, I mean
A lot of candidates
who ended up paying for the exams before even checking the eligibility criteria, and then most of these exams do not have any sort of a refund policy, so they ended up losing that money. So please do not make that mistake and check the eligibility criteria before committing, either financially or mentally. And if you want to get my detailed plan how I checked my eligibility for sitting the US CPA exam, kindly don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because I will be putting out videos soon with details on how I checked the eligibility for the US CPA exam and how I was eligible to sit for it. The final thing that you need to check is the demand in the market of your professional qualification. So to give you an example of the DCC market, the US CPA is usually high in demand because the ACCA professional qualification has become saturated, mainly because of proximity to Pakistan and India, as a lot of qualified accountants are coming from that market to work in this region. Whereas for a US CPA, most of the US CPAs prefer working in the US, and you won't find a lot of US CPAs here, which means that naturally a US CPA will be higher and in demand. Although from professional and personal experience, there is not much of a difference when it comes to a US CPA, an ACCA, a CA or an ICAW, because all of these exams are very rigorous, and before awarding these professional qualifications, they have a very high standard that a person has to meet. But yes, sometimes it can be preferential when it comes to your employer or the region you want to be working in. So kindly check that before you commit yourself to any of these professional qualifications. So guys, those were my 3 tips that you should be following before committing to a professional qualification and deciding upon which one might be the best one for you. If you like the video, please do let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends who might be interested in getting a professional qualification. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.